In this video, we're going to have a look at how we can edit things like the browser titles, description meta tag, and add some global content to our site in a site-wide footer. Now, before we do that, I want to have a quick look at what we get out of the box for browser titles and meta tags. So here you can see I'm on the rapidweaverblog.com homepage, and by default, the browser title, as you can see here, is the page name, so articles, followed by a pipe, and then the site title, so Rapidweaver blog. And this is specified within inside of Rapidweaver. But we're going to have a look at how we can dynamically edit this from within inside of the total CMS admin area. Okay, just to illustrate what the default browser titles are, if we go to the About page, you'll see that changes to About, then a pipe character, and Rapidweaver blog. Okay, next up, let's go back to articles and click on one of the actual individual articles, and we'll have a look at what we get in the browser title. And here you can see we get the article title as the browser title, but our site name is missing. So that's something that we're going to want to update, because we still want our Rapidweaver blog site title to be in the browser title as well. As I say, that's going to be important for SEO and things like that. Next up, let's have a look at the code behind this page and see what we get for meta tags out of the box. So let's go up to the develop menu. Now, if you don't have this develop menu inside of Safari, go to the Safari preferences on the advanced tab and then show develop menu in menu bar. That will give you this develop menu, and then you can show page source. So this is the source code for this page, or the HTML for this page. And inside of the head area here, you'll see we have a few meta tags that set up a few different things, but the ones we're kind of interested in, or the one that we're most interested in, is the description meta tag. And as you can see here, we don't have one of those currently. Now that will be because we haven't entered anything into the description meta tag box inside of Rapidweaver. So if we go to Rapidweaver, you'll see if I click on the article page, so this is the individual articles. If we go to the meta tags tab inside of the page inspector, there's a description box here. If we were to enter a description into here, a description meta tag would be added to this page. And let's actually do that. So let's just put in, this is an example description meta tag. And I'm actually going to publish that up to the live server. Okay, once that's done, if we come back and refresh one of our article pages, and we have a look here, we've got a description meta tag now, and we've got what we entered here. So this is an example description meta tag. Okay, great. So now we have the description meta tag, but that's not going to actually describe the content on the page. And if we go to another one of our articles, say the second one here, the description meta tag content is exactly the same for all of the articles. What we really want to happen here is perhaps we want to use the blog post summary as the description for this page. Now this is important, as I say, for SEO reasons. So when your blog posts are displayed in Google search results, the description meta tag will be shown as the description for the page. So now that we've seen what we want to add to the page, let's go back to Rapidweaver and see how we accomplish that. So first of all, I'm going to remove that content from the description meta tag box. Next, I'm going to go up and edit the blog post stack. So I'm on the article page here, and we're editing the individual article or the blog post. Then we want to go to the stack settings, and I'm just going to close up a few of these so we can see what we're working on. And down the bottom here, we can see that the total blog can control the meta tags for us. So out of the box, you saw that the post title was set as the browser title. So if we go back, you'll see Quick and Easy Midweek Dinners is the browser title, and that is the blog post title here. What we can also tell Total CMS to do is add the description meta tag for us, as well as some of the social media meta tags such as Facebook, Twitter, and Google. You can add your Twitter account here. So for me, it's Ben Council. And then what will happen is Total CMS will automatically generate those social meta tags for your individual blog articles. And what those social meta tags do is tell sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google more about the content on the page, so that when someone shares this post on social media, you'll get a richer experience. So they'll be able to know exactly what the blog post title was, what the summary is, and links and things like that. So just more detailed information. So I'd probably recommend that you enable all three of these options. And once you have, what we'll do is we'll publish this up to the server and have a look at what we get. So we'll go back to Safari, and I'm going to inspect the code behind this page. So inspect an element, and I'm going to go into the head area, and I'm going to scroll down. Oh, sorry, I need to refresh first, and then go into the head area, and we'll scroll down. And here we can see now we have a description meta tag, and the content is the summary that you see here. So Total CMS is managing that for us. It will automatically place that summary into the description meta tag. So that's really powerful, really handy, and that's all you need to do to manage description meta tags for each one of your blog articles. Next, you'll also see the open graph meta tags. And as you can see, you get a URL, a type, title, and description, and an image as well. So Total CMS will add your blog post image to the open graph meta tags. And what this means is when it's shared, your blog post image will be displayed above the title and the summary. So you'll get a richer experience when it's shared on social media. And it essentially does the same thing for Twitter here as well. So you'll get the type is a card, you'll get the site, which is your username, a URL, title, description, and image. And all of that is done out of the box by Total CMS for us. The only thing I think we can improve on here is the browser title. And that is because it doesn't include our site title. So we're going to have to do a little bit of custom work to improve this slightly. So what I want to do is have the blog post title, and then I want the author name. So I want to say Quick and Easy Midweek Dinners by Ben on the Rapidweaver blog. So let's have a look at how we create a title like that. So we'll go back to Rapidweaver, and what we're going to do is uncheck the post title to browser title, and that's because we're going to manage this ourselves. Then what I'm going to do is add those blog post macros, or actually we've got the blog post macros hint still on the page. And the reason that we want this is because we're going to use some of these special tags inside of the title field in Rapidweaver's page inspector here. So you can see here we have a blank browser title, and that would mean that the default from Rapidweaver would be used. But what we wanted, as I said, was the blog title, and then the author, and then the site title. So to accomplish that, what we want to use is %blog title, and then by the blog author, and then we can say on, and we could hard code in Rapidweaver blog like so, and that would work perfectly well. Or we can use a Rapidweaver specific tag, which is a % and then site underscore title. Now this will give you the site title set in Rapidweaver's general settings. So inside of here, you'll get this site title when you use the site title tag there. Okay, so let's publish that and have a look at what we get. So we'll go back to Safari and refresh. And now you can see we get Quick and Easy Midweek Dinners by Ben on Rapidweaver blog. Now the reason I think this is better is because we've got our site title in the browser title, and we've also got the author, which is going to help if someone searches for your name inside of Google. And then finally you've obviously need to have the blog post title in there as well. And that's important for SEO reasons, because you want to have the content title, which is Quick and Easy Midweek Dinners here, inside of your browser title. So those two match up. Okay, so that's how we can modify the browser title and some meta tags for each individual article. What I want to look at next is how we could manage the browser titles for things like the articles homepage and the about pages inside of the total CMS admin area. So let's go back to Rapidweaver, and we're going to work on our admin homepage here. So to start with here, we're going to add a one column foundation stack. So we'll start by adding a one column foundation stack, and then I want a header. So we're going to add a header in here. Then below there, I'm going to have a two column foundation stack. And then we'll go to the total CMS stacks, and what I want is a text stack in both the left and right hand column. But before we copy that over, we're going to update the settings here. So we're going to have a text or markdown editor, and we're going to have one line. And we only need one line because this is going to be metadata. It's often not a multi-line situation here. So we'll leave that to one line. We'll remove the markdown formatting, and we will strip HTML on save. And then next what we need to do is set the CMS ID. So this text box is actually going to be for our site title. Now I know I already showed you that you can use Rapidweaver's site title, but you can't edit that with inside of Total CMS. So we're going to create a Total CMS site title. So what I'm going to do is call this meta. So I'm going to prefix all of these things with meta, and then I'm going to say site title. And then the placeholder will be site title, and you'll see that update there. And we can even add a header above that, and we'll call this site title. Then let's copy that over to the right hand side, pop that in there. This box is going to be for our Twitter username, and then we'll update the ID here to be Twitter username, and update the placeholder as well. Or actually we could just say at Ben Council, for example. And then finally we'll just update this top level header here to say metadata. And I'm going to update the styling here. So we'll set these to be H5. And I'm going to set the metadata to be H1. And I think I'll add a bit of margin to the bottom, so 40 pixels there. Okay, so what we've set up here is two text boxes in Total CMS for the site title and the Twitter username. What we want to do next is have a look at how we use this inside of our pages. So if we go back first of all to our articles homepage, and we go to the general settings here, we can see in the browser title what we could do is, just for now, we'll put in articles. So we'll leave that as the default, and then we'll put a pipe character, and then rather than using the site title tag that I showed you earlier, what we're going to do is use the meta site title. So we're going to put in meta site title, and the tag that we're using here is the CMS ID that we entered into here, so meta site title. Next, on the individual article page, if we go to the blog post stack, you'll see here for the Twitter account, what we can do is also enter the meta Twitter account, or I think I call it Twitter username, like so. So I'm just going to check that that is correct. Go back to the admin, and it was Twitter username. Okay, so I'd misspelt that previously, that I'd missed out a W. So it's always handy to check. So yeah, Twitter username spelt correctly. Okay, so what we'll do now is let's publish that up to the live server. We will edit the site title and the Twitter username, and then we'll see if those are entered into our live pages. So back to Safari, we'll go to our admin homepage. We need to log in. And there we can see on the admin homepage we now have the site title and the Twitter username. Now there's no data because we haven't saved anything yet, so we'll just put in a testing title, and we'll put in at Twitter, and we'll press Command S to save those. So now if we go to our articles page, you'll see we now have articles, pipe, and then testing title. So if we go back to the admin and we actually update this to Ben's food blog, for example, and save that, then back to the articles, you'll see that's instantly updated. So hopefully you're starting to see the power here. We can create areas in Total CMS that allow us to edit things such as the browser title. You could even go further here and do this for the page navigation items here. So you could have a tag inside of Rapidweaver, and then you could add a metadata box inside of your admin area so that your users could update these page titles themselves. Finally, what we want to check is the Twitter username. So let's have a look if that's being used in the meta tags for our individual blog posts. So we'll inspect the code behind this page. We'll go into the header area and we'll scroll down, and we can see here on the Twitter site it is using the @Twitter that I entered rather than the @BenCouncil that I had statically entered inside of Rapidweaver. So if we go to our rapidweaverblog.com/admin page and we update this to be BenCouncil again, and we save that and come back to our article and refresh, we'll see that that has then been updated there. So that's going to be really handy because you might want to also integrate even further with Twitter and add perhaps a share button later on. And if you do that, you can reuse that meta Twitter username across your entire site, not just for these meta tags. Okay, before we finish up this lesson, let's have a quick look at how we can make a couple more bits dynamic. So first of all, on the articles page, what we did was customize this, but Rapidweaver blog is using the site title set inside of Rapidweaver. What we want to do is use the dynamic site title that we've created inside of Total CMS. So if we go to Rapidweaver, go to our articles page, general settings in the page inspector. Sorry, we need to be on the article page here, and then the general settings, and then we go to here on the browser title. Rather than using site title, we will use meta site title, like so. And that will then use our Total CMS site title. So we'll publish that and make sure that's working. And we'll go back to Safari and refresh one of our articles, and there we can see we've got the article title followed by the author and then the site title. So I might want to update that to be Ben's food blog. So you can see the power. You can log in straight away and correct any mistakes that you've made. So rather than just Ben food blog, which doesn't make sense, we've got Ben's food blog. So we come back, we refresh that, and there you'll see it's automatically and instantly updated. Okay, let's do one more before we wrap up this video and move on. So we'll go back to Rapidweaver. Now for the About page, let's have a look at how we could add some metadata editing here. So what we're going to do is add a 2-column foundation stack, and what I'm going to do is move this content, or the existing content, into the left hand side, and I'm going to delete that 1-column foundation, and then for the 2-column I'm going to set up the tablet sizing to be 8 columns on the left and 4 on the right. Then we're going to copy or duplicate this header, and I'm going to call this metadata. Then on our Total CMS stacks, we'll go down and we'll add a text stack. And again, we're going to have text or markdown editing, no markdown formatting, strip the HTML on save, and have just one line. And this we're going to call the meta about title. Okay, so that will be our title. And then we'll do one more for the description meta tag. So we'll duplicate this, and then we'll say meta about description, and we'll leave the rest of the settings as they are. Now what we'll probably want to do is add a couple of headings here. So I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to say browser title, and below that we'll say description, and then we'll make these an H5. Okay. Now before we publish this and save, what we want to do is enter these CMS IDs into Rapidweaver. So first of all, we want the browser title, so the meta about title, we want that to be in the browser title. So we will put %meta about title and then another %. And then what we can do is reuse the site title as well. So we can say %meta site title. Then in the meta tags tab here, in the description, we can put in %meta about description, like so. Then we'll publish that up and we'll go and edit those inside of Total CMS. Sorry, I've just seen that I've made a mistake there. I've entered those into the admin about page rather than the about public page. So we'll delete that out of the description meta box. We'll go to the about page and paste that in there. And then on the about admin page, we'll remove the browser title and paste that into the public browser title, and then publish those up. Okay, we'll go back to Safari, and if we go to our About page, we'll see that we don't get anything in the first part of the browser title, and that's because we haven't entered anything into Total CMS. We do get the site title that we've already saved though. And if we inspect the code behind this page, and we have a look in the head, we'll see we have a description metadata tag, but there's no content, and again that's because we haven't saved anything inside of Total CMS. So let's go to our admin area and the about page. You'll see we now have these browser title and description boxes. So let's say about Ben's blog, just as an example, and then we can copy over just a bit of this text and paste it in here and press Command S to save. Now when we go back and refresh the public about page, you'll see the browser title has been updated, and if we look in the head, you'll see the description meta tag now has that content as well. So again, hopefully you're starting to see the power of Total CMS here. We can not only edit public content such as images and galleries and blog posts and feeds, we can also edit the metadata behind our sites. And this is really powerful because it gives your users or yourself the ability to log in to your website from anywhere in the world and update every single detail of your Rapidweaver built website. Okay, so that will do it for this lesson. What we are going to finish up with in the next lesson is on the articles page. I think there's just a couple of things we're missing. Now the first one is we want users to be able to comment on our posts. So we're going to have a look at how we can integrate a third-party commenting system. What we'll also want to do on our blog is promote other blog posts so that our users keep on reading or they visit another page on our site. So we're going to add a full-width featured blog post banner. And then finally, we're going to add a site-wide footer area that we're going to be able to edit inside of Total CMS.